Hey everyone, I'm Tyler and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to make this watch display case slash everyday carry catch-all. Like so many projects lately, this project started with some rough stock, happened to be using cherry this time, and one of the reasons for that rough stock is it's much cheaper. If you go and try to find some S4S, which means surface on 4 sides cherry lumber, good luck. You're probably going to be paying 4 times as much as I paid for this cherry wood we're seeing right here. Over at the miter saw, I cut my cherry down to the sections that I will need, which happen to be very short, but over there I'm trying to cut around knots that might weaken the wood, even though sometimes there's some very awesome grain pattern around knots. But I don't ever want to lose the plug from the knot, so it's always better to get it out of there. On the bandsaw, I ripped it down to 8 inches wide, which is the max width cut of my jointer, where I ran 2 sides up against the fence, making sure it was perfectly flat. Once I had those sides squared up, it was over to the planer with my new helical head, which is a dream to be using, where I planed the material down to 1/2 inch. I am going to be using the X-Carve from Inventables to cut out the patterns for this EDC rack, but I understand that not everyone has a CNC machine, so to help y'all out, down in the description I got 2 links for you. The first one being for the easel project if you have a CNC, and the second one being for some 1-to-1 downloadable templates. Download these, print them out with no scaling, and they will be a perfect fit for you to glue to a piece of wood, trace out and cut with a jigsaw, and then you can repeat that over and over again with a router bit tracing template as I've shown you in past videos. But I am going to be using the X-Carve, and I actually drew this project in AutoCAD as it had some complicated curves, and then I imported that DXF into easel. A great feature over on easel, and another great feature is the fact that you can now speed up and slow down as you're cutting. One of the greatest features of a CNC is just like this, I could do something else while it's cutting, so maybe I have a project that doesn't need to make it on YouTube, exactly like what I was working on there, and that gives me the time to get those projects complete. Once the CNC was done with its work, I had to snap the pieces out of the molds, almost like an old model airplane that I used to do, and it was right here that I realized I made a mistake. We'll talk about that later, and we'll be able to fix it pretty easily, but I moved over to a chisel, as you could see, so I could cut those tabs instead of snapping them loose. Using the cutest little bearing bit from Tools Today, I was able to run that on the inside and outside of my pieces, cutting off any tabs or hairs that were left over. Now there's a couple different glue up sanding sequences for this. First off, I'm going to glue up the 2 patterns that make the sides. As you can see, these got little pockets for all of your little everyday carry items. I added some Titebond wood glue and made sure everything was very well aligned before adding a bunch of clamps to make sure I had even pressure across the piece. Here you can see the mistake that I was talking about earlier. Because I pushed the pieces out of the bottom of the assembly, I actually snapped a lot of wood that I didn't want to remove away from the piece. Now, I do have a drum sander, so it was pretty easy work to run it through a few times to remove some material and completely get rid of those gouges. While I was there, I actually removed even more material because the wife thought the sides were a little bit high for the project scenario. After that, it was even more sanding over at the oscillating spindle sander, and after that, even more sanding by hand to get those tiny inside corners. I used a couple of these little sanding blocks from Rockler to get the very inside tiny corners, and it worked fantastic. I sanded up to 220 grit. Once the first pass at the sanders was complete, it was time to glue the pocket assembly to the base. A little bit of wood glue, and I actually used the mast that's going to hold the watch display arms, and I slid that in place to make sure that everything was aligned. If this part wasn't right, it would be very hard to get that mast in later. So I put that in, added a bunch of clamps, and then used my straw trick to get any of the glue out of the inside corners. I did mention the first pass at the sanders because we are back again for a second pass. I put the belt on my oscillating spindle sander, and this was to get the outside radius nice and smooth. This is a 120 belt on the sander, so there is a little bit more work that we're going to have to do later on to get that up to the finer grits. Now, the CNC leaves a tiny inside radius because it's a round bit, So I used some of my dovetail chisels to make sure I got that removed so that we would get a nice snug fit when we put the pieces together. Here you can see what the assembly is going to look like, and once you get those radii all nice and clean, it fits together pretty nice. Before gluing everything up, I freehanded the loose pieces on my trim router, which I just set upside down on my workbench, and added a small round over to all of those pieces. I then took the trim router over to the base assembly and made sure I add that round over to all the visible sections, making sure to leave the mast mounting point because you don't really want that open radius down there. Once we were done with the router, there was a little bit of touch up with some hand sanding, which I didn't show, and then it was time for the final assembly. Added some wood glue in the mast sections and connected the arms, and then connected the entire thing to the base. Biggest thing we're looking for here is an even glue application, and then make sure everything is nice and snug. Shouldn't have to add any clamps because it will snap together pretty well. A little bit of glue cleanup with the straw, and then it is even more sanding, our favorite part of any project. Just making sure everything is nice and smooth, even, and we have no abrupt joints. You guys know I love to apply finish with my finishing setup, but sometimes a rattle can lacquer is too easy to pass up on. Especially for a small project like this, I always keep a couple cans of this Watco lacquer in my spray can drawer. This is a solvent-based lacquer, so woo, be careful. Make sure you have your PPE on or it can do some nasty things to you. Well, that is a wrap right there. I'm excited to get this up into our room. It's just simply too dark to film up there, but this is going to match the king bed build that we finished recently. It's going to look awesome in our bedroom. I do have some room for a few more watches. I think you could probably get 8 watches on here if you were really a big watch fan, but I definitely would like to get a couple more wooden ones on there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hammer that thumbs up button. Helps this video out, gets it in front of more eyes, and we could definitely use it right now, helping the channel get back up on its feet. While you're down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss when we upload a new video. I'm DIYTyler, and you guys have a good one.